Good evening, everyone. Welcome you to the Town of Central for this special called meeting for a public hearing tonight on Monday, May the 11th, 2026. This is to begin now at 6:45, and so I call this meeting to order. We will start with the invocation for the evening. I would just say at the beginning that we are having this at 7 o'clock. We're having an additional public hearing, and then we will go right into our regular council meeting. So we will have one invocation, and that will be good for all of the meetings. So I'll ask Mr. Moss if he would lead us in our invocation, and if you would like to join us, I ask you to stand and pray.
Let us pray. Eternal Master, our God, we thank you for this day. Lord, we thank you for this night. And Lord, we pray over the special call meeting, the regular council meeting, as well as the other special call public hearing. And Lord, we pray for your guidance. We pray for your wisdom, and we pray that we do what's pleasing in our sight. And we'll be so careful to give your name praise, glory, and honor for you, the reason why we live. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight and participating in this civic process with our town. I would just remind you that we are having two sessions for public comments. And I will go ahead and say this now. I may repeat it at 7 o'clock for our second one. But this is to hear your comments and to hear what you want to say to us. It is a little different than in our regular council meeting comments. We can entertain questions. So I'll be willing to write questions down, and then we will try to answer those or answer those for you. But this is not for us to have a debate tonight. So it is a time for us to hear from you, and it's a time for you to ask questions, and it's a time for us to answer questions and get information, both information from you to us, and then if you need information from us to you. So the purpose of this one that we are presently in session for is rezoning of Sims School Road. It's parcel 4075-10-27-6126, and that's combined with another small parcel 4070-27-7016. And this is public comments to hear it to be zoned RM8. This was a piece, these were two pieces of land that were owned by Southern Wesleyan University, and Southern Wesleyan University decided to sell those two pieces of land. We have a very unusual thing here in our town. We have university zoning because we have a university in our town, and so when that property comes out of university zone, and it has to be zoned into something else, and the request has been for it to be RM8. We'll now hear public comments on this. If you'd like to speak to this, please step to the podium and state your name and then what you would like to address council with. All right, one more time, if anyone would like to address the rezone of Sims School Road, these two parcels of land, 4075-10-27-6126, combined with 4075-10-27-7016, and that to be rezoned to RM8. Give you one more chance if you would like to speak to this in any way. All right, thank you. Let the record show that there were no public comments for this session tonight. And since there were no public comments, then this public session is adjourned. We will move to our next agenda item, which is public session, and that's at 7 p.m. So you have 8-minute break, okay? So 8-minute break, and I will reconvene us at 7 o'clock for that public session. Thank you so much. Okay. Get mine too. No, I forgot to bring them.
Turn that off and can't reset.
We got 15 more minutes.
Do we have to sign something?
That's where he sits.
Do you wanna sit in your spot?
Who?
I'm looking at you. Here, I'll let Joe be, manning the phone. There you go.
Doing fine to you, sir.
And if somebody texts or calls,
Oh, Lord, boy. Where you at?
Currently, I am out Bristol, Tennessee.
Oh, Lord. Can you hear good?
I can.
Okay. Can you see us good?
Yes, sir.
He probably wants to see out there.
Would you rather see the audience or look back at us? Would you rather see the audience or look back at us?
It doesn't matter to me, whichever.
I'm gonna put you right here, okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Have a Coke.
Hey, thank you.
Listen, I hope we got a couple hours.
Or three.
Yes, sir. Bristol, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
We got a packed house tonight. It's a packed house.
I think we all know why.
Mm-hmm. Do we need to use that sign? Use the sign. That so we get straight.
It's just for mini votes. He has to vote.
hey, you're good.
I can mute it then. I can mute it on my side.
Okay. Listen, will you hang tight while I can do a DoorDash real quick?
Multitasking. Multitasking.
Listen, I've been all over the place today.
All right, it's time.
And, but that's all right. You just take away. Or when y'all get ready to vote, can I bring him back? Can I bring him to you? Okay.
He can do it from there. You can vote from there.
That thing was making some crackling sounds, and I didn't want it to be a distraction to the meeting.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Good evening, everyone. It's 7 o'clock. It's time for us to begin a special called meeting for the Town of Central public hearing on Monday, May the 11th, 2026 at 7 p.m. And I will call this special town hall special called meeting to order. So we've already had our invocation for the evening. This is a time of public hearing. It's concerning 18-mile redevelopment project area and 18-mile redevelopment plan, also known as TIF or tax increment financing. The purpose of this is to hear the public's comments to us, questions if they have questions to us, and we will try to answer them as well as we can. But this is not for a time for debate, but to hear your comments to us. If you'd like to speak to this, I invite you to come to the podium and state your name, and we have 3 minutes for each speaker.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good
Yes.
evening.
Good evening.
Brock Bailey. And just wanted to get some clarification. I've spoken with quite a few of you over the last week or so, and still don't quite fully understand the TIF. But one thing I was reading on the Municipal Association of South Carolina website, it talks about what the tax increment financing is in South Carolina. So just reading through that, trying to get educated. And one statement in here, just trying to figure out how this plays in with where we're at. I just want to read a paragraph from that website. It says, additionally, the redevelopment project area requirements hold an area ineligible for TIF unless the sound growth and redevelopment of that area cannot be accomplished without public intervention. State law also requires each project to be publicly owned. Examples include projects such as recreation facilities, water and sewer facilities, energy infrastructure, public transportation, and more. And so what I'm a little confused on with the TIF is the area that cannot be accomplished without public intervention. And I don't feel like that's the case in this area. I feel like the developer should fund the project. The developer should be in charge of the infrastructure to that project as well. So I don't think it's in our best interest to fund that through a TIF with this particular project. Now, I'm not opposed to the project. I've seen the plans. I like what it looks like. I think it can be a good thing for Central. I'm also a little hesitant with how fast things are moving in Central because we do have infrastructure issues. We live on the other side of the tracks and the underpass. You know, I'm concerned about school traffic if this is developed. How do we all those people over to Central Academy of the Arts without causing a huge traffic jam? And then our water treatment plant, you know, that also needs to be expanded to be able to, even what we have right now, I feel like it needs to be expanded. And so just infrastructure things I think need to be addressed. And I feel like this should be something that's more of a private entity type concept. So,
Would you like for me to address those for you?
if you'd like to, yes.
I'm going to try to do that. Also, our administrator's here, and also we have another person, Mr. Burns, who is here, who has been helping us. Let me just correct something. You said water treatment plant. I think you meant sewer
Sewer,
treatment.
yes,
Treatment
yes,
plant.
yes.
So let's just make sure that everybody
Correct.
doesn't think that all of a sudden they're not going to have water.
100%.
We buy our water from Easley Central, and then it's a pass through to the town. So that's one thing. The second thing is that the developer is giving the town about 50 acres, something along those lines, to be developed as recreation facilities. So part of this TIF money would go for that development. So it would be in helping to develop that land so that everyone can use it. It's not just for those, but we don't really have a place now where we can host baseball or softball tournaments and things like that. That would give us the opportunity to do that. So also, there's a water tower because there's some people on your side of the railroad tracks that sometimes say they have trouble with water pressure. And so another water tower would then help us be able to regulate the pressure better for everyone. And part of the TIF is also for the to build a new fire department, new station. We have a department, but to build a new station.
And I get that, and I think those things all need to be done.
Sure.
I guess my concern is that I guess it would be the tax rate issue too, if I understand it correctly, that whatever the land's valued at before it's developed would be the tax rate on it. And so you can develop the land, it would really have a much higher tax rate, but until the TIF expires, the tax rate would stay lower. Am I incorrect? Is that correct?
Would you like to?
Mike, why don't you come on up here? Make sure we get this right. It's a 25-year TIF. So I think the first 10 years, it's 75% of the increase would go towards a TIF. And then the next 10 years is 50%, is that right?
I think it's 10 years is 80%.
10 years,
5
80%?
years is 75.
75.
And then the remainder is 50%.
50, okay. So it gradually goes away. But yeah, what you're saying is pretty close to correct.
Is that, Mike, would you want to sit there? Does that microphone work there? where
Yes,
he
it's
could-
on.
Okay, so you could use that in case anybody else has questions, or I'd like to have you address them. So,
I'm sure my 3 minutes are up,
Okay.
but,
I
Yes.
think the one thing I wanted to say, he was talking about sewer treatment plant. Regardless of whether this development occurs, we need to expand the sewer treatment plant.
yes, 100%.
So because the development is occurring, there's an opportunity for them to help, their tax money and their tax base to help expand the sewer treatment plant.
Gotcha. All right,
thank you, Mr. Bay,
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council.
Yeah.
I want to share a number with you this evening.
Jack, would you just
I'm
say your
sorry,
name?
Jack Queener.
Okay, thank
A
you.
resident of 18, off of 18 Mile Road.
Thank you, sir.
Not a resident of the town of Central, but your municipal line comes right up to our property
Yeah.
line.
Sure.
I hope that didn't cost me out of my 3 minutes. I want to share a number with you this evening. That number is 30%. 30% of the people living in central South Carolina are below the poverty rate. That's more than twice the Pickens County poverty rate, and it's more than twice the South Carolina poverty rate.
You're right.
There's some simple math at work tonight. For every dollar that the TIF diverts to the redevelopment district, that's a dollar that's not available to the general fund. And we want to talk about what that means to the 30%. You pass a TIF so that you can do all these things in the redevelopment district, but that's not all that needs to happen in the town. So instead of letting these people who are gonna move into these $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 houses pay the full freight for their sewer expansion and their street lights and their sidewalks and all the other things that are listed in your TIF documents, you're gonna pass that cost of the fire department and the new police cars and the more policemen, you're gonna pass that on to the residents of the town. You're not gonna pass it on to Pickens County because they've already said no. You're not gonna pass it on to the school district because they've already said no. And so it's passed on to the people who live in the city limits, and the 30%ers are gonna pay. So that's where you're gonna come up with the shortfall. Here's how I'd like for you to look at that tonight. These townhouses are gonna be built, and you see the trend all over. It's not just in Clemson and Central. You see the trend of wealthy people buying properties, letting their kids live in them for 4 years, selling the property, making a profit. The kid lived free while they were in college. So you've got a choice tonight. You're gonna vote for the 30% to be protected, or you're gonna vote to give money to some guy from New Jersey who's got $500,000 in his IRA and who's got two $70,000 SUVs sitting in his driveway, and he's sending his kid here to get a bargain in college education, and he's gonna pick the town's pocket for the sewer treatment plant instead of him paying his part and his share of the deal. The state law allows you to create a special purpose district and allows you to charge 2 or 3 times the sewer rate in that special purpose district until that sewer treatment plant expansion is paid off. And so I would just say to you tonight that if you pass the TIF, you're favoring the millionaire from New Jersey rather than the person that's living in that 30% who couldn't pay his water bill last month and got shut off. I don't know how many people you're gonna report tonight had their water disconnected, but there's several. So I think, go back to that person who's sending his child here. He's not involved in this community. The people that elected you and live here are involved in this community, and those of us that live outside the city limits who come into town to spend our money at the Depot Dog or the Mexican or wherever, we're involved. This guy, you know what Central means to him? It's a zip code. It's pure and simple. It's a zip code where his kid lives. And he might come here and visit his kid, his college student, if you want to call that kid, and come to the restaurants and eat and do a little business at the Walmart, but he doesn't care a hoot about Central. So I would say to you that let's talk about the 31%, and let's, so I heard a phrase over the weekend that the minister was talking about Mother's Day and mother's work, and he said, unseen is not unimportant. Unseen is not unimportant. The work that a mother does, the people who are in some measure unseen in Central, and I can't say that I'm standing here speaking for anybody but myself and what I see, but I've always spoken up on behalf of the little guy. When I was a county agent, I can't tell you how many times I went on somebody's farm and they said, no county agent has ever come to visit us. And I said, you can't ever say that again. So I would say to you, think about this and realize who elected you to office and who can diselect you at the next election. It's real simple. And it ain't the guy from New Jersey who's sending his kid to Clemson. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Queen.
If you'd like to respond to any of that and enter into some dialogue like you've set the precedent for.
Philip, Mr. Burns, would you like to address any of that?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I would like to, Jack, I don't mind responding to some of that, if that's okay with you. We are looking at a multitude of ways of doing this financing. On our docket tonight, we're going to have a resolution that says we're going to employ somebody to do impact fees, which would be a significant way for those places to pony up or do whatever it is that they need to do. We would also say that, I would also say that we're looking at hiring a grant writer to help us with these things as well. And you're right, there's a possibility that you can create special districts for costs and things like that. So I don't think the town has put all of their eggs in one basket. We are looking at a multifaceted approach for that. So the other thing that I would say is we're all sitting in a building right now that was built because of a TIF. The recreation center, where we're gonna honor students tonight that because they played basketball in there, that was TIF. The library that people go to, you want to talk about 30%, I go in there a lot of days and then I see people that I think are unhoused sitting in there because it's nice and cool or nice and warm and they're using the internet. There's a facility where Pickens County puts EMT and they're close to make a response to us, and the senior center. All of this was done in cooperation with the county and as part of a TIF, and I think it speaks to everybody, not just one group. And I think if we develop this land, parks, recreation, trails, things like that, and they bring in taxes, it does help everybody. Thanks, sir. Anyone else would like to speak to this, make sure we say it correctly so everybody knows, 18-mile redevelopment project area, 18-mile redevelopment plan? Anyone? I want to say that when we talk about capacity from the town, it's different than capacity of sewer for the plant. There's no danger in that plant of all of a sudden it overflowing. There's a lot of capacity, but it's the capacity that the town has use for. So when we want to increase capacity, It is so that we then obviously have enough for us to have use for that. We're again talking about impact fees, which is a way of the developer having to participate in what goes on out there with the grants, as we've already stated as well. And also, you notice on if you go up 18 Mile Road, water lines are being put in out there, and that is not the town that's putting in those water lines. That is the developer. Now, I'm not speaking for or against the developer. I'm just wanting to give accurate information to people so that we have an accurate understanding of those things. All right, if there's no other comments, then I will call the portion of this town meeting central, special call meeting for 18 Mile redevelopment area, project area and 18 Mile redevelopment plan, that it is adjourned. And if you'll give us just 1 minute so we can make sure that we get our packet and information together, then we will begin the second. All right, we will move right into the Town of Central regular council meeting for Monday, May the 11th, 2026. We have finished the public hearings, and as we have published, we are moving directly into this, and so I call this meeting to order. We will ask you to all please stand, and I'll ask Mr. Peak if he would lead us as we say the Pledge of Allegiance.
If you were to recite or recite after me, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. There is a housekeeping issue I need to take up, and then we will move on. Just need to let you know that we have had a major computer issue today with our clerk's computer, and so she's had to get all of her stuff out of the cloud and do it and get it ready, and she's done yeoman's work for today, and so I thank her. We didn't have the Pledge of Civility because we didn't have it to hook up for here, but I pledge that I will be civil to you tonight, and so we will do that. Also, I need to make an addition to the agenda. We have provision in Robert Rules of Orders and in our own ordinances that you can make a motion to amend the agenda in emergency situations, and I believe we have a situation today that requires us to take immediate action. And that's due to ongoing court proceedings. So I am making a motion that we amend the agenda to include town attorney contract, and that will be placed under new business. So the chair makes a motion that we amend the agenda to include town attorney contract under new business.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this? All those in favor of us amending the agenda for tonight to include the agenda item town attorney contract under new business, if you're in favor of this, would you please raise your right hand? We have one on, that's meeting with us, right, on FaceTime, so we'll ask him to say yes or no.
Mayor, Robert's Rules of Order. I do not believe that a video vote is allowed.
We checked with the Municipal Association of South Carolina, and they said unless our ordinance said that it's not allowed, that it is allowed.
Okay.
And since we do not have any regulations, Mr. Evatt couldn't be here tonight because he works with Clemson University and their track team. They were supposed to leave tomorrow to go to the ACC tournament, and he got informed over the weekend that they were told to leave today. So he is in transit to the ACC tournament and wanted to join us by FaceTime. So since we do not have, they said if we do not have injunction against it, then we can allow it, which we did during COVID. And we don't want to make it a regular habit. I don't want everybody to FaceTime in and me be the only person that's here, but I think in an emergency situation, it's acceptable.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Daniel, did you hear that? Do you want to vote on this amendment? Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yeses and no. So the agenda for tonight will be amended. Now, good stuff. We're going to recognize tonight a group of people, the Central Clemson 14 and under boys flag football team. They won the Tri-County Championship on Saturday, May the 2nd, 2026. And we've invited them and their coaches to come here, and we'd like to honor them tonight. So I'm going to ask Mr. Griffin to come down front, and then I'll come down there, and we'll call out their name. We'll ask them to come up and get their certificate of recognition. And I will go ahead and read this. The town of Central recognizes these people on this 11th day of May 2026 for outstanding performance with the Central Tigers 14 and under boys flag football and for representing the town of Central as the 2026 Tri-County champions. Let's make this, before y'all move, let's vote on this so that they know we all support this. So I'll make a motion that we recognize the Central Clemson 14 under boys flag football team for winning the Tri-County Championship on Saturday, May the 2nd, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand or by voice.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And so it carries. So we will recognize these people at this time.
Make sure you turn around and face so your parents can embarrass you.
All right, first we're going to recognize the coach, Coach Steve Thompson. Please come up here and receive your award. Coach Mike McClung.
Right there,
Coach Billy Etter. All right, Cooper Akers. All right. Ian Young, okay. McCarthy Bowers. We're training them right, aren't we? Joseph Brendan.
Good job. Here, stay right here. We'll get you in a second.
Parker Etter.
Around that, so they can, there you go. There we go.
Kane Gear.
Turn around right here so we get your picture. There we go. Perfect.
Jackson Landingham.
Hold on, Jackson. You're failing the test. There you go.
Callan Leggett.
There we go. Perfect.
Michael McClung. Kason Thompson. Aaron Vaughn.
Perfect. All right, we'll grab a team photo together.
Go on in.
Yeah.
Y'all come on up here.
Keep it right.
Chief, and we'll get on the sides of you here. Parents, we get all the pictures.
Okay, get out of the way a little bit. All right, make sure your certificates are up correct. We get so many that they're upside down and we think they're, all right. All right, here we go. Looking right here so I can get a good one. 1, 2, 3. All right, parents, y'all. Everybody look at the parents. Let me get out of the way.
Everybody good?
All right, good job. Before they start back, you'll just go on through the door so the noise doesn't get us. Good job, guys. Appreciate it. Make sure you tell Peter we appreciate that hard work.
Thank y'all, and as you go out, thank you to the parents, because y'all are the backbone of all that, so thank you so much. We will continue with the agenda. On the agenda, we have, next is Town Central Council Information Meeting Minutes of Monday, April the 13th, 2026. These have been corrected and all additions made. Is there a resolution to accept these?
I move that we adopt central information minutes from Monday, April 13th, 2026, as written.
All right, there's a motion and second. Any comments, questions about this? All those in favor of accepting the Town of Central Council information minutes for Monday, April the 13th, 2026, please raise your right hand. Or voice vote.
Aye.
Yes, and so they are accepted. Next on the agenda, we have the Town of Central regular council meeting minutes of Monday, April the 13th, 2026.
I'd like to make the motion that we accept the regular council meeting minutes of Monday, April 13th, 2026.
Second.
All right, there's been a motion that we accept the meeting minutes for regular council meeting Monday, April the 13th, 2026. Any discussion? All those in favor of adopting the Town of Central regular council meeting minutes for Monday, April the 13th, 2026, please signify yes by raising your right hand. Or voice. And so those pass. Next on the agenda, we have public session. Public session, this is for up to 30 minutes where people are allowed up to 3 minutes to address council. And this is not a time for us to debate, not for a time for us to have dialogue. This is a time for you to have a voice to say what you would like to us. And so if you have questions, we will take those down and get back to you with them. But we will go into public session at this time. So public session, we have 3 people that have signed up to speak at public session. First one on our list is Justin Reiki.
Good evening. I'm going to start by addressing the folks in the room. This is a real quick, just raise your hand. If you're a volunteer on a volunteer commission, you're interviewing candidates, and you're offered 2 candidates to choose from. One that has 16 years of experience in what you're trying to do, and one that has 0. If you want the candidate with 16 years of experience to help you, please raise your hand and tell me. There you go. Thank you. Council members, you know why I'm here. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your service. I do that not to try to oversimplify the issue, not to patronize you or anything like that, but it's to really point out what it is we're asking for. A group of volunteers that are your volunteer commission members that don't receive a dime in compensation, that come in with no experience. We get a 2-hour training course once every 2 years or so. A lot of the rest of it is you got to figure it out as you go. You got to learn from the people around you. You got to learn from the town resources and whatnot. And we presented a letter at the last meeting from all but one member of the commission and that's continuing to serve. And that one member we didn't ask to sign because they just joined the commission 2 months ago, and we felt it wasn't right to ask them to sign something. But all the remaining members that continue to serve signed a letter, which was presented to you to say, we're asking for you to approve the application of, among others, Paige Bowers. She served this town for 16 years as a council member. She served the zoning commission for 16 years as the zoning liaison to the planning commission. And there's nobody in this town that knows more about our zoning ordinance, our land development regulations, the future UDO, I'm sure, and the struggles that we have got to manage and work on going forward for the next 16 years and beyond. I'm not going to hammer the point here. I'm just telling you the commission members are asking you for your help. I hope you'll give it to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Akey. Next on the list is Ed Young.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Council members, thanks for this opportunity. Justin's a tough act to follow, but I'm gonna give it a good shot. We've got some major challenges facing this town over the next several years. quite likely, we're gonna double our population in the next 5 years or so. Maybe sooner, maybe later. That's gonna leave us, and we can't stop that. That's already in motion. So what's left is for council and for the planning commission to work together for the good of all of the citizens of this town to manage that the best we can. In order to do that, we need the best resources we can possibly get. I think Justin's made a great argument and laid a great case for having Paige Bowers on our commission. And my request is that these folks all vote and appoint Paige to the planning commission tonight. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Young.
Next on our list, next on our list is Jack Queener.
Good evening again. I'm
Good
going
evening,
to take
sir.
another swing at the ball.
Yep.
If I heard your responses earlier, and I want to address those in some manner and to elaborate a little bit on that.
Sure.
I'm aware that there's the state revolving fund money for low-interest loans. There's grants through state and federal folks, and there's impact fees that you spoke about. There's a special purpose district that we spoke about earlier. And if I saw all of that in play in what the town's been trying to do in the last year or so, I would be sitting back there saying, good job, folks. But I don't see that in play. What I see is 5 or 6 years ago, when your town administrator learned that the 18-mile plant, treatment plant was out of capacity, that your capacity was gone, it was down to nearly zero. DHEC, then what was then DHEC, recalibrated and did an actual calculation rather than the numerical estimation.
Right.
And they awarded you some more capacity, and that's pretty much been burned through. My statement to you tonight is that if your town administrator had come to, and I realize there's been 3 mayors since 2020, okay? So the leadership that should have been happening is right here beside me. And if he had come to y'all then and said, folks, we've got growth coming at us and we're running out of sewer capacity, what are we gonna do? You know, how are we gonna make this work? There would have been ideas surfaced, and all of this could have been dealt with in a holistic approach and put together this package. I didn't see that. What I saw is last fall sometime, and I believe almost all of y'all were in the room at that time, he said, we've tried to get sewer capacity from the city of Clemson. We've approached Pickens County to buy sewer capacity. We've approached Liberty to buy sewer capacity, and everybody said, no, thank you, we're not interested, pretty much. At least you don't have a letter saying, yeah, we're gonna help you. And so at that meeting, I heard your town administrator say, I don't know what to do. And he literally threw up his hands. I don't know what to do. That's because he didn't start 5 years ago and bring people together and engineers and grant writers and people to make this work. That's why y'all are sitting where you are right now. And that's why he's throwing up his hands and saying, I don't know what to do now. And I just want to leave you with that. It's, I would be clapping my hands if y'all had a holistic package put together that brought all of these components and said, let's make this work. Because I know that growth is happening, and I know that that sewer plant is going to be expanded. I also have a pretty good idea that that's a 5-year process from the time you find the money and get the engineering done and get the contracts let and get the construction done. You're looking at a long ways down the road. And so, you know, those people are going to be stuck. There's not going to be more than, well, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how many houses will be built prior to the completion of the sewer plant expansion. Again, thank you for your time and service, and I'm glad I'm not sitting on your side of the dais.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that completes all of the ones who are signed up for public session. So we'll move on to the next agenda item, and that's receipt and dispositions of petitions. Do we have any at this time, Mr. Administrator?
Not at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. So next is reports from council and council committees. And so we will start with Mr. Evatt. Are you able to address us from?
April shows no impact fee revenue. I just want to get clarification on why that is. Were there no eligible taps, permits, or was this the first month no recorded impact fees would start as Philip had mentioned earlier?
We didn't have any permits come, so there were no impact fees this month.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Evatt. Next, streets and public safety, Mr. Moss.
Thank you, Mayor. The fire department was awarded a South Carolina Be Safe grant. This grant is for $15,000. It was used to update some handheld equipment as well as flashlights, fire hose, and fire nozzles, and update some lighting on the fire trucks. And we appreciate them going after the grant. And
Great.
on the police side, the police chief Thompson has submitted 8 grants for equipment upgrade as well as for officers, and we just appreciate the work that they're doing. Thank you, Mayor.
Any questions or for Mr. Moss and his report? Thank you to, as we said, for all of that, the grants and getting those. We appreciate that. Okay, Enterprise, Ms. Chapman?
Yes, for the month of February, the Water and Sewer Department completed 193 work orders. The meters were read on April 14th, while rechecks were done on the 15th. 32 customers were on the disconnection list for non-payment, and of those, 28 reconnected. And I want to also emphasize, when they reconnect, they have to pay another fee. So this is something that I think that our mayor is trying to work with to help some of these people with their financial stability, and to get this where it looks, the report looks better, and our people are better served. Last but not least, the sanitation department, both residential and commercial, ran normal schedules for the month of April. And that is my report.
Thank you. I will just expand on that a little bit. I have had conversations with a person who is interested in helping us with these, with some of these people to start a pilot program to help. We have someone who will give money to pay their first month to get them connected, to get them caught up. Then they would have to meet with this person for 4 times to do budgeting and other kinds of things that's necessary to help them understand and get a handle on the process of the water and turning it on to those kind of, or that whole process. And we've identified 3 customers, and so within the month, that should start as a pilot program, and I'm very happy about that. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, planning, Mr. Peak.
Okay. The Planning Commission and Council had a joint UDO meeting last month. And as a result, they have made great progress in working with the UDO, trying to get that complete, but it is not complete to date. So I do not have anything else to report from planning, but I would like to make a motion that we extend the moratorium for 3 additional months via resolution 05-11-2 2026. The moratorium had an expiration date this month, and since we have not completed the UDO, I would just like to make a motion to extend it, as I said, via Resolution 0511-2026.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to, for moratorium extension 05-11-2026. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so it's on the floor and now open for discussion. Again, I just want to point out that this is our way of saying we don't want any development that's done, to be done until we have completed all of this work so that everybody comes into it and knows exactly what to expect and meets the expectations of the town. Any other questions or comments on this moratorium? All those in favor of accepting resolution 05-11-2026 moratorium extension, if you're in favor of that, please raise your right hand. Or by voice. That's 7, and it passes.
Thank you, Mayor. Also, I would like to mention, as has already been stated tonight, in regards to impact fees, I would like to direct the Planning Commission to work with council to examine the impact fees, as well as directing our administrator to enter a contract with Tischler Bice so we can have a true impact fee study performed.
All right, you're making that in form of a resolution?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's a resolution on the floor to be direct planning commission to examine impact fees and direct administrator to enter into a contract with Tischler Bice. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, so we are going to, if you pay a close attention to our proceedings, you will know that previously we directed the administrator to enter into a contract with someone else. After they had discussions, it became apparent that it wasn't a good time for the other person, and so we have then found another one, this person who does this kind of work and who does this kind of advising, and so we have to give the administrator that authority again. So that's what we're doing. And also, just for clarity's sake, felt like it would be better if that information initially was with Planning Commission and then to council. And so that's why this resolution says that. Okay, all those in favor of the resolution of directing the Plan Commission to examine impact fees and allowing the administrator to enter into a contract with Tischler Bice for this process. If you're in favor of that, please raise your right hand. Or by saying yes, or by no. So yes, and that passes.
Okay. My next item, Mayor, we have 2 vacancies on our Planning Commission currently. We also have 1 vacancy on our Board of Zoning Appeals. I will make a motion to appoint Paige Bowers to the Planning Commission to fill one of those vacancies.
All right, there's motion to appoint Paige Bowers to Planning Commission. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there a second? Is there a second to that motion? I second that motion. So there's, a motion's been made and second that that we appoint Paige Bowers to the Planning Commission. Any discussion?
Mayor, if I may.
Sure.
I greatly appreciate Mr. Rakey's and Mr. Young's time to publicly speak in favor of Ms. Bowers tonight. We know that Ms. Bowers had 16 years of service to the Planning Commission, and what she has done with that Planning Commission time cannot be denied. With myself being the person or the council representative to planning, I know that that's a thankless job. It's a difficult job, and one that I question my sanity for accepting. So I just want to go on record saying I recognize Ms. Bowers' accomplishments and her dedication to the Planning Commission over the last 16 years.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of appointing Mrs. Bowers to the Planning Commission, please signify by raising your right hand. That's 2 yes. All those opposed, raise your right hand. Or by voice. And the motion is denied. The appointment is denied.
Okay, Mayor, I have another application for the Planning Commission's positions that are open. This individual, she is currently the chairperson of the Board of Zoning and Appeals. Her name is Nancy King, and I'd like to make a motion to nominate her for the Planning Commission.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and second to appoint Nancy King to the Planning Commission. Are there any comments, questions for that?
I think it's a good appointment. I worked with Nancy on the Zoning Board of Appeals and also have worked with her in public on other projects, and she's a well-qualified individual for this, I believe.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of appointing Nancy King to the Planning Commission, please signify by raising your right hand. Or by voice. All those opposed? All right, that is 6 yes and 1 no, and that appointment stands for Nancy King to be appointed to the Planning Commission.
I have another application, Mr. Mayor, but he wishes to rescind his application at this point in time.
Okay,
I have one final application for the Planning Commission that I would like to make a motion to appoint this individual to the Planning Commission. This gentleman's name is Thomas R. Golden.
Second.
okay, there's a motion for Thomas R. Golden to be, a motion and support for Thomas R. Golden to be appointed to the Planning Commission. Are there any questions or comments about that at this time?
Again, if I may, Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
knowing this person for a few years, I know he cares about this town. We know he was running for mayor against you as a write-in last year.
Mhm.
He's just looking to make his mark and be part of the solution.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of Thomas Golden being appointed to the Planning Commission for yes, would you raise your right hand? That's 4 yes. Voice? That's 5 yes. All those opposed, would you raise your right hand? That's 2 no. Appointment stands of Mr. Golden to the Planning Commission.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I have one final application tonight, and that will be for the Board of Zoning Appeals. This gentleman's name is Tyler Carson. I have known Mr. Carson for a few years now, and he has the heart that he wants to be a volunteer to help move this community forward. So I make a motion that we appoint Tyler Carson to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Second.
There's a motion and second to appoint Tyler Carson to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Yes, sir.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, good individual. I've known him for 10 years myself personally. He works good art, good security man up at SWU. He'll be good. Common sense man.
Yep, he's a great guy. All right, all those in favor of appointing Tyler Carson to the Board of Zoning,
So,
BZA. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Or voice.
Yes.
That's 7 yes, and so the appointment is made.
and that is all I have tonight, Mayor.
Great, thank you, sir. Let's go to, I skipped over Mr. Griffin for recreation, so let's go to him at this time.
Yes, sir. As recognized tonight, 14 under Central Tigers flag football team won the Tri-County Championship, and again, we congratulate them. The HUK Central was a huge success with 112 professional disc golfers from around the country competing. We will have the impact numbers from the survey for review in about a week. Also, our most sincere thank you to an anonymous donor who donated $10,000 for a new state-of-the-art golf cart to assist with transporting seniors at events used for parades and other activities and generally used by the recreation staff. The indoor recreation report will be sent separately. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. Again, publicly, we want to thank the anonymous donor for that great gift to our town. We give them thanks for that. Also, the disc golf tournament, I was there for part of it to go up and see them and greet them. There's people from all over the country and brought a lot of people with them. And they really enjoy playing our course and coming to our town. So that's a great thing. Any other questions or comments? Great, thank you for your report. Mr. Berry, Tourism and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, as you know, we didn't have a First Friday concert this past week because we had a First Saturday concert tied in with the Makers Market. That was pretty well attended. We are having a Friday night concert on Main Street before the car show on May 22nd and 23rd. The car show being on May 23rd, starting at 10 a.m. The concert on the 22nd will be from 6 to 8 p.m. on Main Street. June the 5th, we're scheduling karaoke at the Historic Depot from 6 to 8. We will be hosting a regional baseball tournament at Nettles Park from June 5th through 9th. And then we have our community outreach. Chief Thompson's gone, or I'd recognize him for it. Sponsored by the police department and assisted by our fire department at Bolick Field. from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Touch a Truck and other games and music and stuff for the kids. There's another opportunity for the town to get together and speak with each other and have fun. And that's what I have, sir.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments for Mr. Berry? That's, there's a lot to do in our town, and thank y'all. Thank y'all for,
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to thank everyone for contributing to the unity in the community on last month, and we had about 3,800 pounds of food that we took to community care, and we just appreciate you coming out and being with us. Thank you so much.
thank you. Any other questions or comments for Mr. Berry? Okay, our next item of business is new business. And remember, we amended our agenda so that we could take up this addition for town attorney. And we have need to employ a new town attorney. And so I'm going to make a motion that we direct our town administrator to enter into a contract with Brooke Ennis in terms of legal services as our town attorney. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, there's a second, so there's a motion and a second. You're probably pretty aware that the person that we employed as our town attorney was arrested and therefore cannot practice, and we would not want them to practice in that situation. And so we therefore need to have a town attorney, and so that's why this is an emergency for us to need to do this. This is Brooke Ennis, and she has worked in this capacity before, and so she has experience and knows us, and I think it would be a good choice. And she has agreed to this if we direct the attorney, the administrator in this way. Any questions or comments beyond that? All those in favor of the motion to direct the town administrator to enter into a contract with Brooke Ennis to serve as town attorney? If you're in favor of that, please raise your right hand. By voice. And that passes. That's the new business. We have no old business. So now we go into introduction and consideration of new ordinances, policies, proclamations, and resolutions. And so our first on this is ordinance 0608-2026, which is to annex into the town parcel 4070-00-35-5669, which is also 138 M&M Road. Is there a motion that we accept this on first reading?
I move that we accept ordinance 6/8/2026, annexation parcel 4074-00-35-5669, 138 M&M Road.
Second.
Any questions or comments on this? These are parcels we're going to be considering. 3 parcels of land that have been purchased by the developer and wants to add them to bring them into the town. All those in favor of ordinance 0608-2026, annexation of parcel 4074-00-35-5669, which is 138 M&M Road. If you're in favor of that on first reading, please raise your right hand. or by voice?
Yes.
That passes. Next, we have ordinance 0608-2026, which is annex into the town parcel 4074-0036-6483, which is also 1620 18 Mile Road. And is there a motion?
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 0608-2026, annexation of parcel 0474-0036-6483, 1620 18 Mile Road on first reading.
Second.
Okay, you've heard the motion that has support. Any questions or comments about this? All those in favor of ordinance 0608-2026, annexation of parcel 4074-0036-6483, which is 1620 18 Mile Road into the city of Central. If you're in favor of that, please raise your right hand. Or by voice.
Yes.
And that passes. Next is ordinance 0608-2026, annexation of parcel 4074-0036-8027, which is 1648 18 Mile Road into the town of Central.
I move that we adopt ordinance 6/8/2026, annexation parcel 4074-00-36-8027, 1648 18 Mile Road on first reading.
Second.
All right, it's been, motion's been made and second. Remind you, all these are first readings, so you still have time to think about them and vote on them again. So, just remind you, any other questions or comments about this one? All those in favor of resolution of, or favor of ordinance 06-08-2026, the annexation parcel 4074-00-36-8027, which is 1648 18 Mile Road into the town of Central. If you're in favor of that, please raise your right hand or by voice vote.
Yes.
And that passes. All right, folks, we're getting there. We have another one for first reading. And this first reading is ordinance 0608-2026 TIF, 18-mile redevelopment project area. This is an ordinance establishing the 18-mile redevelopment project area as a redevelopment project area under section 31-6-10, which is of the South Carolina Code of Laws 1976 as amended by approving an 18-mile redevelopment plan for the 18-mile redevelopment project area in accordance with the act.
I would like to make a motion that we table ordinance 6-08-2026 TIF 18-mile redevelopment project area until we can have further information on what transposed at the Pickens County Council and the Pickens County School Board.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion to table ordinance 0608-2026 TIF 18-mile redevelopment project area. We're now open for questions and comments.
Mr. Mayor, I think the problem is not knowing, not being at the council meetings, either the school district or the county meetings, due to other engagements, just knowing exactly what was said and why they were voted down as members of the TIF. It doesn't give us a lot of information to go on.
Yeah, they were videoed, and you can watch them, and they're on the website. The I can give you my impression. Well, I will give you my impression because this is up for comment, so I can say that. We know that prior to us going to county council, that the chair had said he was not voting for any TIF anymore. So we knew going in that we were not going to be, that it was not going to pass. And, but we wanted to present it anyway because we feel like we needed to have due diligence if this was something that we wanted to offer them. It was 4-3 that it was voted down. Is that correct?
It's 3-3, so 3-3 is a loss.
Right. So, then there was, there was a.
I was at the meeting. You
You're
want me
right.
to tell
Go
you?
ahead, yes.
I was at the meeting, and what I did was, I asked them to reject it as the TIF was written. Because what I recommended was that myself and the county administrator get together and see if we could work something out that was pleasing to both parties. And I thought that was a very good option, because that's the option that I gave the school district, and we're gonna continue in talks. The school district also rejected it. I spoke with the school district on numerous occasions, and that was a conclusion we came up with, was this isn't going to work for the school district, but let's not just forget about it. So next month, after school's over, I'm gonna get with the Dr. Merck and his finance director and see if we can work on something that would work for both parties. So they're not really out of the equation. But getting back to the county, I asked them to do the same thing, but as the mayor said, the chairman of county council is dead set against a TIF under any circumstances. We could agree to give them all the money, and he's still gonna vote against it. So he was a lost cause. Whatever his position is, I respect that. But it ended up being, there was a 6 there, and it ended up being a 3-3 tie. I think Chris, and the way it went down was the chairman made a motion to reject the TIF. And then Chris Bowers, I think he made an amendment to the motion to give myself and Ken Roper an opportunity to come up with something. And if we didn't, his words were, if they can't come up with anything, well, that's okay, but we don't have anything to lose. But they rejected it anyway. So that was the county.
But the door is still open for talks, right?
With the school district.
Yes, the door is still open with the school district, and I think we've continued to talk, even though we had decided that it was going to be rejected and we were gonna see if we could work something out. We've continued to talk, and I feel real good about the prospects with the school district. They're open-minded, that's all, they're just open to the idea. And they understand that what this ordinance does is it doesn't say that we're gonna run out and borrow money tomorrow. It just gives us the authority to do that if we want to. So that's what you're voting on. Setting the stage to where you have the option to do that is all this is. And what I would do is, this is the first reading. If you've got any other questions, they can be addressed between now and the second reading, if you want to go that route. You're not really committing to anything tonight, except you're committing to the first reading. And then you can further discuss it at the next work session and get some of the questions that you have or that you want answered before it becomes a second reading and becomes
And I
a
don't think it's just me, I think
Yeah.
it's everyone.
Okay, and it may be, if it is everyone up there, we've got between now and the next meeting to address those issues. and then if they aren't addressed to your satisfaction, then you vote it down in the second reading.
And if the motion is tabled or the ordinance is tabled tonight, it does not mean it's dead. It means it can still come up at a later time.
Right. We just have to bring it up the next month, and then have the second reading the month after that.
Right.
We would have to have another public hearing. We'd have to go through the whole process again.
But in the meantime, can you still, talk with the school district of Pickens County and just get their input and just find out for sure that Pickens County is a dead end?
Yeah, Pickens County's a dead end.
Yes.
Just,
I mean, they
It is.
rejected it. They didn't give us the option, didn't give me the option to sit down and talk with Ken Roper and see if I could work something out that would be pleasing to both parties. So they didn't.
And my understanding is that the school district said, pass the TIF and then come back and talk to us so that we can then work something out.
Yeah, and if we can work something out,
So-
then they would be added on to the TIF with an intergovernmental agreement. And what it was gonna come down to, we're gonna need an intergovernmental agreement with the school district, either way.
whether we go for the TIF or not.
Yeah, if you were to vote both readings for the TIF, and I don't know how long it's gonna take to work it out with the school district. It might take 5-6 months to get to the point that we agree, and when I come up with something, I'll bring it to you. I mean, if we sit around and wait on the school district to work something out, it might take longer, much longer. I just don't know. But all I can tell you for sure is the school district is not completely out of the equation.
I want to understand this. So with Pickens County, a no is a no. With the Pickens County School District, a no is a maybe. So we may be either going 50-50 on the funding or 100% on the town of Central when we get to pay it back.
Yeah,
So either way, we'll be raising the taxes on the citizens of Central, either by a small increment or a large increment.
no,
If it's only Central that's going into it by themselves, then they're totally responsible by themselves for repaying it, not having Pickens County and the school district on board, splitting it up into 3 parcels.
what it does is lower the amount that we can borrow on the TIF, because we're not gonna have as much coming in on the TIF because we don't have full participation of the other possible 2 parties. But so far as the taxes going up more for us, no, it's not gonna go up any more for us. We're just not gonna be able to borrow as much and do as much because we don't have as much TIF money to work with. Let me put it to you this way. Let's say, I'm just gonna throw out some theoretical numbers. Let's say all 3 are participating. So let's say the total amount is 100 million, if all 3 participate. Okay, all 3 are not participating. So now the number is 40 million. So that's the number that you have to work with to do the projects that we want to do inside that development. Y'all understand that? Okay, good.
And I know the school board and district's vote were just a couple weeks ago.
That's correct.
At best. Do we have any type of preliminary numbers with the reduction of the amount that we would have available to borrow?
No, we haven't had a chance to, their vote, like you say, was a couple of weeks ago. So the team that's working on the TIF hasn't had an opportunity to rework the numbers based on just us participating. Like I say, if we can get the school district to participate, that changes the number. So no, the answer is no.
There's still a lot of variables on the
Yeah, there's
table.
still a lot of variables. There's gonna be a lot of variables right on up until we get to the point that we borrow. And the variables, even after you get figured out who all the participants are, the variables are gonna continue to change based on how quick are they developing, how quick are they putting the houses in there, and how quick are things moving along. If they're moving along slowly, then we're gonna borrow less. If they're moving along quickly, then we're going to be able to see how much funding is coming in and how much can we borrow. So many variables, there's no way that I can give you or anybody else that's doing a TIF like this, all the answers before you raise your hand. But you've gotta get this in place before the construction starts. I'm not even sure you can do a TIF after the construction starts. But you gotta have this in place to have the authority to even borrow. Like I said, you're not committing to anything except having the authority to borrow it, to create a TIF, to have a TIF.
If we decided to vote for the TIF, and then at some point we decided we didn't need it, then we don't have to pursue it.
That's correct.
That's correct.
You're not committed to anything, right? When you have a second reading, you haven't committed yourself to anything. All you have done is given this body up here the authority to have a TIF. The TIF is drawn, there's the TIF, then you have the authority to borrow from that TIF, but you don't have to do anything. After the second reading, if you choose to do nothing, nothing happens.
And building on the mayor's statement, we vote for the TIF, but we realize we do not need the TIF. How would the council at that point in time dissolve that TIF district?
If you decide you don't want the TIF and you want it to go away, then you just go through the ordinance process of dissolving the TIF.
Thank you.
Is there any information on the other developments that have been going on all around the area, whether it be in Easley or Pendleton or Clemson, where they've had TIFs in order to fund this rather than having the developer take care of it themselves?
I think Clemson tried to create a TIF. Pendleton has a TIF for that development's down there. I don't know the name of the road where all that, what was the name of that company that had all that property up there that they sold?
Off of 187.
JP Stevens or something like that?
Yeah, right, yeah.
The JP Stevens old property, Pendleton has a TIF there. I don't know about Easley whether they have a TIF. They've had TIFs in the past. That's how they built the Walmart Plaza where Academy Sports is and all that. They did a TIF to put the big overpass.
Bridge.
Yeah, the bridge, and build up that road.
Yeah, that was to satisfy Norfolk and Southern and the DOT, right?
Do I know?
That
Yeah.
was to satisfy the DOT and Norfolk and Southern concerns about railroad crossings. I'm just concerned about committing all this money.
Well, you're not at a point.
We're not committing the
Yeah,
money.
you're not at a point where you're committing funding. You're at a point, what you're doing right now is you're creating the ability to have that as an option. And we're gonna need a lot more answers before we commit to any funding.
I need more answers before I can commit myself, just personally.
Just even to have the authority to do so. Okay.
And I would say, would another month help you?
Oh, another month would be better than nothing.
Okay. Well, and that's, so we have the first reading and the second readings in another month. Would that be helpful to get the information between now and?
I don't know if I can actually make a definitive answer on that. I'm not, at this time, I don't think I can answer that.
Now, Mayor, did you say that if you table it, we have to do the public hearing again, or you don't know?
I don't know, but if we go through, my assumption is if you go through, I'm assuming it becomes a new ordinance at that time, and if we do, then it would have to have another public hearing.
Well, what I recommend, you know, I haven't asked for my recommendation, but what I would recommend is to pass this on first reading. Next month, we talk about it. And if you wanna put it on the agenda next month, you can. If you wanna wait another month, then then you wait another month. If it's not on the agenda and you're not tabling it, then the things that you're concerned about don't come into play.
Mr. Mayor, I see Mr. Youngblood is in the audience this evening. Can I ask a question of him, if he would reply to a question?
Sure, if he wants to reply. Yes.
Mr. Youngblood, how close is the development from being first nail into the first stick of lumber?
The first section.
Yes.
I would say we expect to have the pavement down and be applied for a final plat, somewhere around September.
Okay.
Possibly August.
Okay, thank you. So it seems to me with his answer to that question, we need to act swiftly, whether to approve a TIF or to disallow a TIF.
Okay. The recommendation before us is to table this. As chair, my recommendation would be that I will vote against that, because I would vote for the first reading, and then we have a process that sets up that says you can get all the information, we can get all the information that we need before we bring it back for a second reading. So that would be, in other words, we're almost tabling it as it is, but we're not having to go through Robert's Rules of Orders for a bunch of hoops. So I do not want to rush anybody. I do not want to force anybody. But if we don't have to take this up next month. We can take it up the next month or the next month if we already have the first reading. We did that. There was one first reading we had, and we didn't have second reading for 11 months after it, because we had to get some resolution and some information and let Pendleton have their elections and do all that. So that would be, that's my recommendation. Okay, there's a motion on the table to table the ordinance 6/8/2026 TIF 18-mile redevelopment project area. All those in favor of tabling this, would you raise your right hand or by voice vote? Okay, so there's 2. All those opposed, would you raise your right hand? And there's 4. So it is not tabled. So now we will take the actual vote on ordinance 06/08/2026 TIF 18-mile redevelopment project area. The chair makes a motion that we accept on first reading ordinance 6/8/2026 TIF 18-mile redevelopment project area. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so there's motion and a second that we approve on first reading. So we have questions and comments now on this. Again, we do not have to take action on this until we're comfortable taking action on this. That's why you have a first reading and second reading for very important things like ordinances, policies, or proclamations and resolutions.
Mayor, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I will state on record that I have serious concerns with the TIF and how the current state of the economy is. I know there are some backstops that are built into the TIF, but I still have some reservations, some concerns. If the political unrest in the Middle East continues, how that is going to affect not only the local economy, but the national economy as well. And if we face a housing market downturn, how that will affect this TIF. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it completely. I just have some very serious concerns with the state of the economy that we currently face. And that's just my comments on this.
Sure, thank you. I appreciate those comments. And again, we're not committing to taking any money with this. We're just saying we're putting it in place. If we were to see that it would not be a good thing, we would not do it, is my assumption.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to go on the record saying that if we'd have had this information previously, it probably would have, just made it a little uneasy to accept this as it is. And I can see both sides of it. No one can predict the future. But we got to take a stand somewhere, and as long as we know that we're opening a door for the next move and not making no actions whatsoever, I don't have a problem with it. But like I said, information means a lot when you're moving in the direction. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moss.
Was there a chance that we could have the gentleman who came in and spoke about tips to be at the next community work session, so we can be more familiarized and the community can come out and also ask questions to get answers for it making it to the next round?
Sir, I think you're talking about at our next information meeting?
Are you asking for Mike Burns, the attorney that was here, to be at the next work session?
Yeah, so people can come out along with council and mayor to ask questions. We can be more educated on the decision we'll make if it makes it to the next round.
That's what he's asking.
Okay.
Mike Burns.
Sure, we can, he works for us. We can have him here. That's not a problem.
I do understand that a yes vote tonight is not allowing us to get money. It's only putting information out there that would then have to be re-voted on so we could obtain money. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes. And again, this is first reading, which means that we have another month to look at it, think about it, or 2 months or 3 months. We don't have to take action on it next month. So we could have Mr. Burns come at our information meeting next month, and at that time, we could say, we feel more comfortable or less comfortable, or we feel better about this, and we could put it on then the following month's agenda. Yes,
No, I'm fine.
you said something?
Yeah, but
Okay,
I'm good.
okay. Okay, any other questions or comments from council on this? All right, we have it on on the floor to accept on first reading ordinance 0608-2026 TIF 18-mile redevelopment project area on first reading. If you are in favor of this, would you signify by raising your hand, right hand?
With the stipulations, nothing to be done, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or by voice?
Mr. Burns coming to the next, public session, yes.
All those opposed, raise your right hand. And the motion carries on first reading. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have now to look at first reading of budget. Now, I would ask that you just bear with me a minute. There's been quite a few things to do tonight, and we're trying to make sure that we're getting these done and done correctly. No, I got that. Okay, as we look at the budget, it has to be broken out because one is a 50 fund, and a 50 fund means that you take income in to cover. So we will address that. I'm just wanting to sort of give you a preview of coming attractions here. So that's a 50 fund. The second thing is that when we vote on our budget, Mr. Berry will have to recuse himself on one of the votes because he is employed at the Central Clemson Rec Center. And so by law, he cannot vote on that budget. So we had to pull that one out by itself. And then we will vote on first reading on all the other budget items. Is that good? You sort of understand that? So the first one would be ordinance 0608, 2026 BU. And I will tell you that it is to raise revenue and adopt general fund, sewer fund, TIF, recycling, hospitality budget for the town of Central. So is there a motion?
I move that we adopt on first reading ordinance 0608 2026 BU.
Okay, this is our budget in those areas. We've had budget meetings and time to look at those and study. Are there any questions from you on those? All right, all those in favor of adopting ordinance 0608 2026 BU on first reading, if you're in favor of that, would you please raise your right hand? Or by voice?
Yes.
And so that ordinance passes on first reading. The second reading is the one where Mr. Berry will have to recuse himself, and he has done that. And let the record show that I have Mr. Berry's recusal statement, that he will not be voting on this. And Mr. Berry, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the state of South Carolina says that if you recuse yourself from a vote, that you can't be in the room while that's being voted on. So I'll have to ask you to go out into the lobby or something like that while we take this vote. And while he's doing that, just to remind you that this is protection so that it makes sure that nobody can stand in the back and still influence someone in some significant way. So that's why it is done that way. I'm going to give this to our town clerk, that we have accepted his recusal, and it can be signed.
Our phone is about 9%, so I'm trying to get him on that.
Okay.
I don't know whether you need to just suspend the meeting long enough for us to do that, but just hang it up.
So the next ordinance under consideration is ordinance 0608-2026 BU Central Clemson Recreation Budget. Is there a motion?
I move that we adopt ordinance 6-08-2026 recreation budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, okay, so the motion has been made and seconded. This is, the purpose of this ordinance to raise revenue and adopt a Central Clemson indoor recreation budget for the town of Central, South Carolina for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2027. Is there any discussion on first reading of this ordinance? All those in favor then of ordinance 0608-2026 BU Central Clemson Recreation, please raise your right hand or by voice vote.
Yes.
6, so that's, it passes on first reading. We will ask Mr. Berry to come back. Thank you, sir. Our next ordinance is ordinance 0608-2026, RB, and this is to raise revenue and adopt a recreation budget for the town of Central, South Carolina for the fiscal year July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2027. Is there a motion?
I move that we adopt ordinance 0608-2026 recreation budget.
Is there a second for this?
Second.
There's a second, so we have a motion and support for adoption of ordinance on first reading 0608-2026 recreation budget. Are there any questions or comments at this time? All right, then we will go ahead and take the vote. All those in favor of passing on first reading ordinance 0608-2026 RB, please raise your right hand or by voice vote.
Yes.
That's 7, and so it passes. All right, I know people. It's a long night. I understand that. Next on our agenda is consideration of ordinances and policies already in possession of council, and that's ordinance 05-11-2026, the second reading. of 4075-10-27-6126 to be combined with 4075-10-27-7016, rezoning of Sims School Road to RM8.
So moved.
All right, there's a motion, support.
Second.
All right. There's motion and support. Any questions or comments about this? We had the public hearing for it tonight. All those in favor of passing on second reading ordinance 0511-2026 on second reading, the rezoning of Sims School Road 4075-10-27-6126 to be combined with 4075-10-27-7016 to RM8. If you're in favor of this, would you please raise your right hand or by voice vote? All those opposed? And so there's 6 yes, 1 no, and it passes. We are now down to reports and comments from Administrator and Mayor. Mr. Administrator?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If you would, give me some leeway. I'd like to respond to what Jack Queener said tonight about me. It is true, but it's only half truth. And my mom always told me that half a truth is a whole lie. And the reason she would tell me that is because it would lead people to believe things that weren't true. So I would like to clear a few things up, because it certainly gives everyone the impression that I've spent the last 5 years sitting on my hands doing absolutely nothing. And that is far from the truth, but it certainly will lead you to believe that. I've been working for 5 years on capacity at the sewer plant. Asking others for capacity is part of the IGA, so you can find it in the IGA that the town of Central was required to ask other entities for capacity. Also, the county is supposed to be the driver of this expansion. We have been forced to be the driver of this expansion because we had to demand that the plant be expanded because we needed more capacity. So, when I told you I didn't know what to tell you to do, also in the very same meeting, I asked you to create a council committee to help come up with options because it was such a big decision and an unusual situation. Could it have been done better? Certainly it could have. It is much easier to criticize than be an armchair quarterback. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anything else, Mr. Administrator?
I think that's enough for tonight.
Okay. All right, so mayor's comments. Under mayor's comments, I would like to tell council that last week, the administrator and assistant town administrator and I met with Haiti Stith, who is a grant writer. She has an excellent history of writing grants and had her own business with another grant writer, and the other person wanted to retire, and they did. Haiti still would like to do some grant writing, so she came and met with us, and it was an excellent time of meeting with her and interview with her. She has worked for under two governors, Beasley and Carol Campbell. She has a lot of connections, and even in our hour-and-a-half interview with her, gave us a lot of good recommendations. So part of when I was running for mayor, one of the things I said was that I wanted us to have a grant writer. And so the chair's going to make a motion that we direct the administrator to enter into a contract with Haiti Stith for the purpose of grant writing.
Second.
All right, there's a motion second. Is there any questions or comments that you have?
As a council member as a citizen and as a business owner here in Central, I see a true need for a grant writer to work with the administration here at Town Hall. I feel like there are great opportunities, grants out there that this individual can help steer us towards. Upon speaking with you, Mayor, you made a comment that our partners in Clemson at their fire department, they have a community room. She asked with our new proposed fire station if we would have a community room. And that is something we had never thought of. And there's grants out there that are for those types of rooms to be built. So having someone with that knowledge, someone with that skill set would definitely benefit this town, this community, and this town hall.
Thanks, sir. Any other questions or comments about that? There are a number of options, and that's why I'm asking that we have the administrator into a contract with her, whether it would be like a part-time position, whether it would be considered an independent contractor, whatever it is that we think best suits our needs and works with her. So that was my thinking. All right, there's been a motion and second. All those in favor of directing the administrator into a contract with Haiti Stith for, as a grant writer, if you're in favor of that, would you please raise your right hand or by voice vote?
Yes.
Excuse me, 7 yes, and so it passes. There's citizen recognition on next, and there are 2 items that I would like for us to know. One of the things that I said that this town needs is we need to be telling stories. We have good stories, and we need to be telling them and recognizing them more. One of the good stories is one good citizen that we know that contributed greatly to our town is Clyde Jerry Martin Sr., who was a pharmacist who owned business here in town and was a great contributor to our town. Also, who is the father of former Mayor Mac Martin, or Clyde Mac Martin Jr. Sadly, Mr. Martin died, and they're having his memorial service at the end of this month. And I'd like to present a resolution, and so I'm just going to go ahead and read this, but make it in the form of a motion, and then it can be action can be taken. A resolution of the Town of Central requesting that the flags at Town Hall be lowered to half-staff in honor and memory of Clyde Jerry Martin Sr. Whereas Clyde Jerry Martin Sr. faithfully served the citizens of the Town of Central as a longtime pharmacist and a respected member of the community. Whereas Mr. Martin dedicated many years to service to the people of Central and positively impacted countless lives through his professionalism, his kindness, commitment to the community, and whereas the Town of Central wishes to recognize and honor the life and legacy of Clyde Jerry Martin Sr., and whereas the town also extends its respect and condolences to former Mayor Clyde Mac Martin Jr. and the entire Martin family during this time of loss and mourning. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Town of Central that the flags at Town Hall shall be lowered to half-staff beginning the evening of May 29th, 2026 through the morning of June 1, 2026 in honor and memory of Clyde Jerry Martin Sr., whose memorial service will be held on Saturday, May the 30th, 2026. Be it further resolved that during this time the thoughts and prayers of the Town of Central are with the Martin family as they mourn their loss. And I make that in the form of a resolution.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any questions or comments from council on this?
I've known Mr. Martin since I was a child. I went to his, pharmacy. It's where Jitters is. I have lots of fond memories of him. He was a great guy. His family actually attended church with me from the time I was, young, until, at which time, they left. I just want to say that this is, a wonderful thing that the town is doing in honor of him. And I very much appreciate it.
Thank you. All those in favor of Resolution 05-11-2026, half-staff flags, if you're in favor of this, would you raise your right hand or by voice vote?
Yes.
And so it passes. And last thing, under citizen recognition, again, telling good stories and making sure that good things are held up to us. I would like tonight to give a commendation, and I will read this, and I will read it in the form of a motion. So I make the motion that we give a commendation that the mayor and council of the town of Central hereby recognize and commend Amanda Mullinax for outstanding service, leadership, and dedication to the betterment of the town of Central through the development, support, and promotion of the Community Garden Initiative. Through vision, hard work, and commitment to community engagement, Amanda Mullinax has helped create a space that provides beauty, fellowship, education, environmental stewardship, and access to fresh produce for residents of all ages. Her efforts have also inspired civic pride, it's encouraged volunteerism, it's strengthened neighborhood connections, it's fostered cooperation with the local Girl Scout troop, and contributed positively to the health and well-being of the community. So the town of Central expresses sincere gratitude and appreciation for these meaningful contributions and for the positive impact made on the lives of our citizens. I'd like to make sure that she's here, and I would like for us to vote on that and then present it to her the 11th day of May 2026. So I make this in the form of a motion.
Second.
All right. It is important for us to catch our citizens doing good things and right things. And she saw a need and she stepped up, and her husband helped her some too, but that's another story. But we would like to do this. All those in favor of this commendation to Amanda Mullinax, would you please raise your right hand or signify by saying yes.
Yes.
And so, Amanda, I'm going to ask you to come forward here, would you please, and let me.
Deserve it.
On the next tree service. All right. Got it.
Thank you, Amanda. That's phenomenal.
There's no next action items, no action items. And so for that, thank you so much for being here, being a part of this. Please remember to smile, to wave, to say hello. We're better together. This meeting is adjourned.